Hello, my name is Tabs, and welcome to episode 114 of the Growth Podcast. Now, I hope you're all doing very well and have finally stopped laughing at Spurs doing the most Spursy thing last night against PSG, a team that only just started pre-season, I think about a week ago. They started training about a week ago on the 6th, and I think they pretty much played last night's game in their flip-flops, and they still won, and well, it's the history of the Tottenham, isn't it? Okay, so that was a scary moment for a bit, but it ended well in the end. So anyway, in today's show, we're going to try and keep it calm about recent transfer rumours involving players we've been linked with, and but then the main bulk of the show will be our season preview with some predictions, looking ahead at the season, and sharing the predictions of my host today and other members of the Growth Podcast crew. Basically, telling you all what's going to happen, and then we're going to finish with our usual preview of our next fixture, which is against Man United away at Old Trafford at Sunday 4:30. So exciting times. We have some real football to talk about, and joining me today with his crystal ball is Ian, aka Ask Canon Picks. How are you doing, and how worried were you last night as the game was unfolding?
Hi Tabs, I'm all good, thank you very much. Firstly, I cannot believe a man of Italian descent didn't do it's the history of the Tottenham in the Italian accent, and we're gonna need you to do it now, please. Thank you.
It's the history of Tottenham. Okay, Giorgio Chiellini. That reminds me, I was meant to get the actual video or the audio of it, and I was going to slot that in, but life happens.
You don't need to do that now. You just did it.
Perfect
and I actually
impression.
I didn't see the game last night, thank God. Although in the end, I would have liked to have seen it. I was keeping an eye on my phone of the score, but I actually left. I went out to play. I've gotten mad into paddle, kind of paddle tennis, and I was out playing that. When I left my house, it was 1-0 at half time to that lot down the road. I didn't think much of it. I didn't really care. And then when I left paddle, it was penalties, but I looked at the minutes that PSG scored, and I had a great chuckle in the car on the way home. It was fantastic. So yeah delighted.
Yeah, I wasn't watching. I sort of followed it on the text, and at the 2-0, I thought, oh, for God's sake, and you start to worry about it and all the noise that's going to come from it. But then I start getting some notifications on the Old Grove WhatsApp group, and then it's like, oh my God. And then I just tuned into the BBC app just to see the penalties, and yeah, it's a long time since I've watched a football match via text, so it was good. So anyway, as I said, it all's well that ends well. So
it took you back to your teletext days.
It did indeed. Or actually, the days, it always reminds me of the days when I was living and working in New Zealand, where the matches would be on like during work time, and the only thing you could follow games were like the Guardian live text, and so I used to follow Arsenal matches that happened. It was usually Monday night football, so it would be Tuesday morning, and it would be happening whilst I had to be at work, and you sort of surreptitiously have the Guardian website up, and Barry Glendenning being curmudgeonly about whoever it was that was playing at the time.
The kids nowadays have no idea how easy they have it.
No idea. But anyway, so yes, you're right. It did bring me back to the old days. So look, anyway, before we get on with the show proper, as I ask every now and then, it's just a small favours to our listeners. If you can, you got a spare 5 minutes, if you can go onto your podcasting app and give us a rating, preferably 5-star, but leave a comment, follow. Apparently, even if you unfollow and refollow, that helps, but make sure you do refollow, subscribe, and all that usual jazz. So if you could do that, it sort of greatly helps with sort of getting the show noticed and and spreading the love. So thank you, and there we go. Right, 4 minutes in. Let's get on with it, and let's start off, as I said, with a very happy topic. So earlier this week, rumours that, as we said, that lot up the road from Middlesex are in for Eze. Maddison is out for the season. They don't have a great deal of attacking creativity in the squad, and will mainly be a functional direct team, which, as you'd expect under Frank, without too much subtlety. So you could see why they would go for it. And then there's also talk about them going for Savinho from City, and with Grealish going to Everton and other departures from City. another person we had our eye on is Rodrigo. May go there, and we were potentially looking at a loan. Don't know, but City doing City things, they'll just throw money at it, and yeah. But at the moment, there's nothing happening because Spuds aren't sort of reaching the Savinho value yet. But there's still 3 weeks left in the window, so yeah, the shit can hit the fan, as they say. So, Ian, how did you take it when you heard that news or saw that those rumours?
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it. Obviously, we spoke on a recent pod and about Eze, and I was saying that even though like he's not your typical left winger, and that's what we need is an out and out left winger. I was saying he's just the type of player. He's so good that you just go and get him. You just do it. I can understand why we're not going all out for him for those reasons, but the kicker and the salt into the wound is that there's a good chance of him going there. And Fabrizio tweeted or posted today on X saying that Eze's quite open to going there, which I didn't think. What makes me feel a bit better is that, look, if Arsenal and Spurs were both genuinely in for him, and he had the choice of both, he would pick Arsenal 1,000,000%. But I just unfortunately don't think that we're that in for him. But the thoughts of him playing there don't sit well because we know how good he is. And look, Spurs have powered up this window. If they get Savinho and Eze, you have to look at them and say, under Thomas Frank's management, they could be quite a decent side.
Yeah, I think we'll come to that later. But I mean, the reaction by Arsenal fans, as you could tell online and in various groups, has been pretty strong, and it was obviously negative. Just especially on the Eze thing, the Rodrigo thing, City being City, and we don't know what's happening there. But on Eze particularly, there's the potential of them, as you say, buying a very good player that will improve them. But I think that if it was someone like Villa or Newcastle or anyone else, then maybe the reaction wouldn't be so strong. But because we've been linked with him, most fans, as you say, would welcome him to the Emirates with open arms. I said, even if he's not 100% fit, especially because we all know the left-hand side is the final piece of the jigsaw that we can upgrade upon. And so it's a bit of a double whammy that we potentially don't get the player we want, and then he goes to a team we hate. And there was a lot of hating on Arsenal about it. And I don't know. And a bit like last night, even when Spurs were 2-0 up, Arsenal and Arteta were getting grief because Spurs were winning. It's like okay, be annoyed, but it's like, well, it was just
It's what's this got to do with us? Like, Spurs can do their own thing. They were in that game last night because they played in the worst ever Europa League competition with the Champions League teams not dropping down. They beat one of the worst Man United teams the world has ever seen in the final with one of the worst goals ever to have won a cup final. So none of that bothers me. What would disappoint me a little bit with the Arsenal fans is, and I've seen some of it, that they question our heart to go out and get a player like Eze. They're saying, we're just not, we don't have ambition and so on. But I can absolutely promise you that if we don't sign Eze, and I don't think we will, it won't be because we tried and it didn't work out. It was because we didn't want him. And that's like, that'll be my advice to Arsenal fans is, don't go 2-footed in on the club or Arteta. Eze would be an Arsenal player right now if Arsenal wanted him to be.
Yeah, I think that maybe there's some elements to that, because why we may not going for him and stuff like that. But look, and I do get some of the frustration, but it gets a bit extreme. And again, I think I've mentioned this in past two pods. People just feel like they're on edge. They're going to be triggered by any small thing that doesn't meet their expectations or that may not be optimal for Arsenal. And it's just like, it's just, and again, we'll get to this later, it's just going to be so exhausting just having to, and look, for me, it irks me, but it does, as you said, it assumes that Eze is ours to lose. I think Arteta does like him. I think we would want him, but you can't just buy everyone. You just can't have filled the. We play. It's not our club to run, so to speak. But it's very easy for us as fans. Get him. But what's interesting is that most of the reported interest was prior to Waneri signing the contract, but then also you've got the rise of Dowman, and since those two things, the interest from us has sort of died down a little bit, or at least in the press, and maybe it was used as clever either leverage or as a backup option. Shouldn't Waneri have done it? And but could you imagine if Waneri left?
Yeah.
And then we went for Eze, that wouldn't be the right thing to do either. So it's I guess there's no pleasing some, and they'll always find fault. So I can it does irk me, but I think it's that thing. If it wasn't Tottenham, if it was Villa, it was Newcastle, it was any Man United, it was anybody else, I think we would the head loss would be less. And so let's see. And Rodrigo, let's see. So someone shared with me today, Holly from the North Bank pod. We've been sort of discussing the next topic a fair bit, and he shared that apparently we're waiting to see what happens with Rodrigo first. There's all the rumours that we have to sell before we buy, and I think we do have to sell, but I think that's more of a squad numbers thing than maybe a financial thing, because our squad is a bit bloated. But apparently, it's the fact that we're waiting to see what happens with Rodrigo before maybe we move for an area. And Palace apparently are surprised that we haven't done anything yet. So I don't know. Watch this space. It's one of these things. It's all paper talk, and we're reacting to paper talk. We don't know what's happening, and there we go. So we'll see. But it does, if it is down to us needing to sell, and we've got the likes of Vieira, Lokonga, Nelson, Zinchenko, possibly Trossard. There's various rumours about all of those. The talk is that we're not very good at selling, or we're crap at selling, we're shit at selling. I don't know. How do you feel about that that statement, or that label that's been put on us and over the last few years?
Yeah, like I agree with it a small amount. I think one of the problems Arsenal have over the last few years is that we haven't had high quality players to sell. Like we haven't. I think in the next few years you will see us losing players, and we might see the start of it by the end of this window. Like we might lose, say, somebody like Martinelli or Trossard. Somebody who we value. Like the players we're talking about losing, even last season, we lost Nketiah, the likes of Emil Smith Rowe, but these were players that kind of had to move on. Like they weren't offering anything extra to us, and I just think that the quality of the player we're selling, not nobody, but there's not a great market interest in them. Now, some people will counter argue and say, like, there's a Liverpool player, I can't think of his name now.
Tyler Morton. Is it Morton? Tyler Morton?
Maybe Tyler Morton, but they got 13 or million or something. Was that Tyler Morton?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and they like regularly get 25, 35 million for players that may have played 10 games for them. So you kind of wonder what's going on there. But like the players that we're looking to sell, like, I'm not surprised that there's not a huge amount of interest in them. You know what I mean? They're players that didn't work out. The likes of Fabio Vieira, like, who would do a job in a certain league, say, for example, and you might get half of what you bought him for. But I just think in general, I think over the last few years, and this is not to excuse the club, because I do think we need to improve massively at kind of board level at selling. Like, there's no doubt about it. But I just don't think we have the assets there to be making any massive amounts of money.
Yeah, no. I agree. I think we have done okay. As I said, we sold ESR, sold Nketiah, Xhaka, Balogun, Ramsdale, all serviceable players, all serviceable careers, and all the rest of it. And they're not exactly pulling up trees at their other clubs, but we've made a bit of money. So we've managed to sort of sell those. And I'm sure if we had to sell Saliba or Saka, we'd be very good at selling, but we don't want to sell
exactly.
sell those players. I mean, so I think are we crap and selling is a bit binary, bit easy, because as you said, you've got to have the assets that people want to buy.
Yeah.
But the other thing that people don't take into account is the wages. Now, we pay fairly reasonable wages or good wages to sort of middling players, which makes them really hard to shift. So that's why you see these maybe 15, 20 million, whatever for Broja, but he might be on peanuts. Whereas someone like Trossard or Zinchenko, we're looking at 150k, 200k per week. And most clubs can't afford that. If you actually saw how many clubs can have 100k players, 100k per week. It's not that many. So all of a sudden, it becomes half the shift because of the total package. And actually, as for that, I think it's Tyler Morton, the defender for Liverpool. He actually played 70 or 80 games in the Championship, I think, for Blackburn and someone else. So.
Right.
10 million for a defender who's played 80 games in the Championship. It's not, then you play the Liverpool tax. Now, look, Liverpool are very good at selling. That's fine. But we always get beaten by other people's sticks. And, I think they're going into partnership with Saudi somehow. So that all of a sudden Darwin Núñez goes somewhere. The same with Chelsea. You again, it's a reputational thing. So I'm not saying we shouldn't get better. But to say we're shit or crap at selling, I think it misses a lot. But and also where we've got to recently, we've needed the players that potentially you could sell to get to where we are. So maybe we've hung on for a bit, but our primary objective was to get regular Champions League football, and maybe it was thought better to keep the players that we had and get that rather than sell and regenerate, because you'd never know what's going to happen. Every transfer is a risk. So maybe it's got that, but we are getting to that point, or getting close to that point. And I think you said this about the squad, where we can sell valuable assets with minimal disruption. And so I'll give you an example. Ben White next year. If we sold him, no one would want to sell him. It would feel uncomfortable, but the impact with having Mosquera, having Timber, would be fairly low. We'd get 50 million, 60, I don't know if we get 50 million or not, or whatever, we get 50 million for him, and then we go and reinvest that. So that's where we need to be. So, but we've never been in that place. We don't have a Ben White that we can sell for a big amount of money that's like in his prime. So I think we're getting there. We're getting there. So that's for me. That's why I'm not an apologist for the club. I just can understand that you just can't buy everyone. You've got to think of the future. So, Eze comes in when Eri hardly plays. And what was everyone shouting last season?
Yeah.
Where's one Eri? Where's one Eri?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can't. Yeah. So I think there has to be a balance. I think you need to have some critical thinking, or don't be disingenuous about it. Maybe I'm being facetious about selling Saliba, saying Saka, because anyone can sell those. But yeah, I think there's a balance there.
The point is a good one. I think we're approaching like an era. Maybe that's not the right word, but we're approaching a time where every squad member at the club is a top quality. Well, top quality player, and to lose any of them will hurt. But as you say, that's a good place to be. It's where you want to be. You don't want to have kind of dead weight, if you like, in the squad that's not worth anything. So yeah, we're working towards it. In the past, like to directly answer your question, are we crap at selling players? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but we haven't exactly had a load of Leo Messis to sell either.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of our transfer business this season, this window, a couple of things. How would you rate it? Are you happy with it? Do you think we're going to have any further additions?
Yeah, I like it. I like what we've done. We've plugged gaps in the squad that needed plugging. We've added a couple of first team players as well, like first 11 players, which is what we needed to do. Obviously, one of them being the glaringly obvious striker that we needed. I'd rate it at this moment in time kind of like an 8 out of 10. I was going to say 7.5, 8 out of 10. I don't like. There's been a lot of talk, and I was kind of buying into it about Eze and Rodrigo like a few weeks ago, and I thought, God, if we got those, we'd be flying. But the more you think about it, it's just not going to happen. We're after spending a huge amount of money already. I have a feeling, and I'm raging I didn't post this. I was going to send a post out online saying that I had a gut feeling that we are going to sign a left winger, but it's going to be a relative unknown. Okay. There'll be a little surprise left winger that none of us fully know about. Okay. And I've actually, I was thinking of doing that, sending that out the other day, and I think it was yesterday I saw a couple of tweets about. Now I'm going to embarrass myself because I can't remember the player's name, but there was we were linked to like a 20-year-old winger for like 40 million, which in today's world isn't an 80 million Rodrigo,
Yeah.
and that's what I think is going to happen. Now you have to factor in that we bought Madueke. We might not get a left winger at all. Like Madueke obviously is a Saka backup, but I think he'll play a lot of minutes on the left. So therefore, is Arteta thinking I don't need to buy a left winger? But I think so therefore, like if he does buy a left winger, he's not going to have a huge outlay of like 80 million for Rodrigo. Now if you get him on loan, that's different. But I think there is a left winger coming, but not a big name.
Okay. Interesting. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to be more on the upside. Yeah, 8 out of 10. He said we got a lot of important business done, but we also did it relatively early. So then when that happens, and we all wanted it, we all said, "Oh right, do we wait for Isak or do we get Gyökeres or Sesko early?" And we was going, let's get them in early. We need them in early. So we've done that. Now Isak's potentially on the market. Oh, why didn't we? Again, which one do you want? Okay, but when you get your business done early, then you feel like you're missing out when things fall into place later on in the window. So maybe there's a balance between early and late, and maybe that's what we're doing on the left hand side. This is the one that we're waiting to see how things pan out. So
a lot of dominoes still have to fall. Like you're talking about what's happening now with the likes of Eze and Rodrigo and Savinho. They're all linked. All these things are linked. So
and look. Our competition will sign good players. There's more good players than there are spaces in squad or space in the team, and we can't help that. And it's always been like that. And we've always had players going, "Oh my god, I'm really worried that this player's gone there." And then and to buy a player just to stop a rival from getting them is not a great business model. So you wouldn't want to do that. And look, we upgraded in midfield. We've upgraded in attack. We've got great options, squad depth, versatility across the pitch. And I think we're scarred from last year with all the injuries, and then we just again that PSG bench where we had the kindergarten there, and what we had to deal with. So I think we've addressed a lot of that, and so I think and we've got the players in, and other teams are trying to get their players in, trying to figure things out. So look, I think we all agree we can upgrade there. But then also potentially, maybe the fact that we got Gyökeres, maybe the fact we got Zubimendi, maybe the fact we got Madueke brings something out of Martinelli. So we just don't know. But then you've got that angst of we're always one player away from that amazing squad, and I think we've been forever thus. So let's see.
I would say that now again, I don't know other clubs as intimately as I do the Arsenal, of course. Yeah. But I would say the business that we've done makes us across the board position like every position across the whole team. We are covered. I think we've 2 players now that can step in, 2 high quality players, and I still include Martinelli and Trossard in that right now. Yes, if you're to pick an area, that's where you'd upgrade. But I don't think you even look at Liverpool for all the talk of Isak and so on. I'd be much more worried if Liverpool signed Mark Gahey from Palace than I would be them signing Isak. If you go team for team of the top teams, I don't think anybody has the depth that we do.
No,
I don't think so. Right. And that's huge in a world where we play 4,000 games a year. It's what you need. You have to have cover in every position. Liverpool right now, they haven't signed Gahey. It could be announced the second you hit publish.
Apparently they're not going to meet the value, so they might just wait till next year. They'll do a Real Madrid on him and wait till next year and get him on a free
and take him. So, will the Liverpool fans give out about Gahey then, like they did Trent? But anyway, Liverpool are a Van Dijk or a Kanate injury away from disaster at the moment. As much as I'm afraid of their attack, if they got Isak, for example, they haven't addressed things the way we have. I don't think. So I'm very happy with the window.
No, it's true, and also it assumes that these players are going to be brilliant for them. They could be rubbish.
Yeah.
So who knows? And they're settling in. I think I think we're doing well to integrate 6 players, into our squad as it is. I think. Yeah, Wenger even said himself, you only want to bring really 1 or 2 in because otherwise it causes disruption. So that's why bringing them in early or having that lead up into the season helps. So yeah, look, I think we're in a good position. I think we just want that additional security. I think it's all part of that edginess, that angst, that can something just go our way for once, please? And I don't think it's entitlement. I think we just all see it and we want it so badly, and I think that's just there, and it's just creating this extra, angst in fans because we just. Yeah, we've been scarred over the last few seasons, and we just want to, I think we'll compete. Whether we're going to win everything, who knows? Who knows? Well, I'm going to tell you we are in a minute, but who knows? But who knows about Liverpool? Yeah. So it's just up in the air, and then once the season gets going, once the players are playing, then we'll really see how it's all working. So yeah, it's interesting times, but let's see. So that's the transfer section done. So look, the season is upon us, and yeah, it's sort of happened pretty quickly, and this will be Arsenal's 100th consecutive season in the top flight. Now, let's not worry about how we achieve that, but and it's pretty much unmatched. I think that's all full story anyway. So,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it
Fake
is,
news.
but. Fake news, but it's good fun to acknowledge it. But anyway, and look, I think the closest is Everton in a distant second with 72 consecutive years. Just that's like hanging on by a piece of string. So yeah, so we're going to our 100th season, and what better way to celebrate than by winning the lot? But in terms of the season coming up, what are you looking forward to, and not looking forward to as far as the season is concerned as a whole?
I'm looking forward to it, and I've kind of touched on it already. I'm really looking forward to us being able to have the luxury of having a full squad, a proper full squad. Like last season, things fell apart big time in the injury department. Like you said, we ended up with kindergartners on the bench for big games, away at PSG, away at and at home for Real Madrid. So I'm looking forward to us having that kind of comfort and solidity across the whole squad. I can't wait to see the Gyök. I cannot wait to see him. I got the Tabs is sporting the beautiful white third kit, and I got the same jersey, and I got the Gyök on the back of it. Do you have anything on the back of that?
No.
I don't mind going around with the Gyök on my back. I can hold him, and
he's a big unit.
He's a big unit. Yeah, I'll have to do some sit-ups, but I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see Zubimendi. My word. Like, I know we've only seen a smidge of him over pre-season, but like, thank Christ Liverpool didn't get him, by the way. I cannot wait for him and Rice to do their thing. Yeah, I'm just so excited that we've powered up. We've raised the floor and the ceiling, I think. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to seeing how the other teams that have powered up kind of do their thing. Like, football isn't linear. We don't just look at Arsenal and say we're going to win every game. It doesn't work out that way. But maybe then again it could work in our favour. Maybe so many teams have powered up that they'll start to take points off other teams. If we hold up our little record of doing well against the other top 6 teams, and they all take points off each other, it could work in our favour. But I'm kind of a little bit worried about how, especially if Liverpool go on to sign a couple of defenders or like a natural 6. City have got so many players in, like, of good quality. So I'm not looking forward to seeing them, the likes of those, power up. But look, that's football. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. In terms of looking forward to, I think very similar. I'm just interested to see what sort of team we will be, seeing the options, seeing the variety. You mentioned, the likes of Gyökeres and Zubimendi. What a difference they're going to make to our team. How are we going to evolve, sort of tactically? Even likes of Madueke, excited to see him. So yeah, what they're going to going to be, and hopefully not having so many bloody injuries. And then just from a personal perspective, just being back in the rhythm of watching and going to football. I said I went to the preseason against Athletic the other day, and it was just it was good to be back. The beer was good, the sun was out, the kit is amazing, and damn you, Mr. Adidas. Yes, I think I've got a full house. So so I could kit out a five-a-side team quite easily. So, but there we go. So that's cool. In terms of what I'm not looking forward to, and I think I've alluded to it at the beginning, and maybe I'm a bit sensitive to this, and maybe it's either the people I'm engaging with and not is just the fact that the fan base is on edge, and how we're going to react to any slip up. Not meeting our potential, and just there's that, and then there's my own personal, because I said, because we want it so bad, we want it so much, we've been scarred, and it's like the general angst around watching games. Is every game going to be completely unenjoyable unless we win it, unless we're 5-0 up or whatever. So and look, I think we're all really invested in this, and that increases how much we care, and how much, which then increases the anxiety levels on how we'll perform. So it's just that whole thing. Already just thinking about Man United at the weekend, it's like, you can't just relax into it and enjoy it. It's like,
I know.
You
wanted a home game against one of the newly promoted teams to start off, but
yeah. Look. Guess who Tottenham have at home on Saturday? So having to play a really hard, depressing midweek game. They got Burnley at home. It's like, how's your bloody luck?
And Liverpool at home to Bournemouth, who sold all their defenders, and
there we go. You got to play everyone. It is unfortunate there are 19 other teams. Otherwise, we'd walk it.
Oh yeah,
so, we'd walk it. So what would you? Again, looking at big picture, what would you consider to be a successful season? Do we have to win a trophy for it to be successful?
Well, I think there's different kinds of success. There's just plain success is you win trophies. I think you could say you need to win a trophy to be successful, but for me, and I know we've spoken about this before, where you and I, Tabs, are of a certain vintage. We have seen the club do this. We've seen them win trophies. There's a whole generation that haven't really, in terms of the league or European trophies. But for me, I'd be happy if we kind of pushed. If it wasn't to be us who wins the Premier League, that we were just there. As in, still have a chance to win it with a game or two to go. I think that would be a really good season, because there's so many teams as I said, have powered up and spent so much money. Liverpool have spent £300 million basically this summer window, which is mental. So. And then go deep again in the Champions League. We all remember that excitement the night at the Emirates against Real Madrid. Oh my God, they're individual moments of success. It's important not to skip that, because we all love Arsenal so much, and we all want us to win the big trophies. As you said, we're desperate for it. We want it so bad, but don't let that sidetrack you to the small things that brought us and made us fall in love to Arsenal. The wins, the big wins against the likes of Real Madrid, beating Spurs and so on. And of course, people would say, the kids again, what a trophy because you beat Real Madrid at home. You didn't win the Champions League, but you can't sleep on those moments either. So I want more of that. I want more of those moments.
Yeah, it's hard. Look, I think the percentage chance of winning, the Premier League, you're in high 20s, low 30s.
Yeah,
and even the likes of Liverpool, maybe only couple of percentage points higher, and City a couple of percentage points lower. So even those teams, it's so much has to go your way. It has to fall your way, a bit like it did for Liverpool last year. It was the season that they needed things to go their way for them to win the league, given where everyone else was, and it happened, and that's fine. That happens. You need that bit of luck. You need the others to falter. So for me, of course, I want us to win a trophy, and I'll be disappointed if we don't. But as you said, that for me doesn't. it's not so binary. So yes, it doesn't define success as much. At some point we do need to win something to for this to be meaningful at the moment. But you're right. I just want to be in the race and giving a good account of ourselves and challenging and be there. Just give ourselves every opportunity to win the things, and then see where things land. And I just want to enjoy the season. I see us play good football, a good vibe around the club, and try and have some of that positivity. It's weird to talk about trying to bring some positivity back into a club that's finished second 3 seasons in a row, that's made some amazing signings and stuff. But as I said, just feels a bit edgy at the moment, and I said we're so desperate to win, and people get a bit insane and get easily wound up. Well, they get easily wound up, and I get easily wound up by them getting easily wound up. So it's this vicious circle. And look, fine, people can have their own opinions, they can support how they want, but it's I don't know. I'm not a big fan of negativity or toxicity, and maybe I'm a bit too much on the there's the toxic positivity, and I wouldn't say I'm that, but I'd like to see on the upside of things. And football's an emotional game, and it can bring the best and the worst out of us. So let's just hope the team doesn't give us anything to complain about. Yeah, and pigs might fly.
I think but just to touch, like, it's the unjust negativity that kind of gets to people. Yes. I think that's very important. Like, yes, we can all kind of lose our rag if, back like it was back in the late Wenger, the Unai Emery days,
the banter era.
Yeah, like we can all get upset about that. But when you see the trajectory of the club, and again, I know we haven't won any of the big trophies, I know, but when you see the trajectory the club has been on, like the negativity, the unjust negativity surrounding that, I think is just uncalled for. And again, obviously, people have their own opinions. They're more than entitled to them. But I just think that's a very important point, that, yeah, you can be annoyed, but come on, let's think about this and where we've come from. And if you get behind the team, it might help. It might give us that 0.001% that we need to get us over the line.
Well, there we go. Indeed. So as I said, but Arsenal were not giving us something to complain about. Pigs might fly, and talking about pigs flying, let's get on with our predictions and see how we fare in terms of what we think is going to happen this season. And I think there's an element of looking at them here. There's an element of hopium and blind faith. Especially by me, bloody hell. But yeah. So look, I asked the sort of the Grove podcast crew. So that'll be myself, Ian, Jamie, Kuseva, and Moz, what they thought about where we'd finish in the Prem, who the top 6 would be, what our points tally would be, Champions League position, and then things like player of the season, signing of the season, young player of the season, surprise breakout of the season, disappointment of the season, and I'm interested in your one, Ian. Top goal scorer, top goal, the goals they scored in the bottom 3, just to see where we go. So we got that out. So in terms of Premier League position, Jamie went, we're going to win. Moz said we're going to finish second, and Kuseva said we're going to win. And what did you say, Ian?
I said we're going to win the league.
Ditto. And why is that?
Because of the aforementioned squad depth. I think and I hope that's what takes us over the line this season. I think the players have tasted it the last few seasons, and they won't want to finish second again. I again, hopium maybe, yes, but I have a sneaky feeling about this season. I really do.
Indeed. Okay, cool. Right, yeah, and likewise. I did think about second, and I don't know, I just wanted to break the monotony of second. So I think we've got a chance. We've got as good a chance as any. Yes, other teams are going to play well. As I said, we've got an amazing defence. We've got amazing options, a bit of luck, bit of injuries. Maybe Liverpool don't have the luck. City are still, every team has their weaknesses. But if you look at us, I'm trying to, even our left-hand side, is it really a weakness, or is it just an area we can upgrade on? Whereas I think the likes of City with their players aging out, and maybe their midfield and defence not being so strong, Liverpool with their defensive weakness, now look, they'll try and outscore you. but maybe the differential between their best and their worst is bigger, whereas ours, we're fairly consistent across the board, and I think we've got quality options there, and I think we can really rotate really well and keep players fresh. So I think we're going to do. I think we can do well there. Look, predicting who's going to win, and this is where it comes to the top six. So all of us have said a combination of Arsenal, City, and Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, and in fact, City are third for everyone. And if you predicted Arsenal coming first, they're first, and Liverpool are second. So that's across us. And then
that's not true. That's not true. I very, very bravely, and possibly stupidly.
Did I just assume that? Did I just assume?
Did I? Did.
Oh my god! There you go. I copied and pasted badly. Oh, okay. What have you said then? What have you said for second and third?
I said Arsenal first.
Yeah.
Man City second, and Liverpool third.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll take that. Oh, okay. Oh,
I think, and I could be absolutely laughed at come the end of the season, but I have a little inkling that if Liverpool don't sort out their defensive depth, and if they get a bit of bad luck like we did last season, I think they'll struggle. Now again, the flip side of that is if they sign Isak and they sign the likes of Mark Gahey or another defender and a six, they'll probably win the league by 15 points. But that's just my vibe at the moment.
Okay, very good. And then so Jamie had. And then everyone's got Chelsea in fourth. And then Jamie put Spurs fifth, Villa sixth. Kusiva had Spurs and Villa fifth and sixth. God, Spurs. Jesus, seeing too much Spurs here. Moz put Spurs. Oh my God, he's put Spurs fifth, Man United sixth. Me, I put Villa fifth, Spurs sixth. And you put Newcastle in fifth and Villa in sixth. I sort of struggled with this. I think the top three, top four, pretty easy. Or you got the top three are sort of on an island of their own. Then you got Chelsea on their own, and then the rest. I think it depends on how their signings go. The likes of Spurs having to deal with Spurs and Newcastle having to deal with Champions League. Villa, I don't really know what they've done really in the market. I don't know if they've improved or if they've there'll be a decent top six side. Moz, I don't know what you're talking about with Man United. I mean, okay, they're going to improve, but bloody hell, they're not finishing sixth. I don't care what you think. So yeah, it's. But yeah, the fact that Spurs is mentioned a lot. Do you think even with Champions League, do you think they will have enough to? Well, obviously. Oh yeah, no, actually, you're the only one that didn't. Oh, okay. Yes. Where have you got Spurs finishing?
I think they'll finish like eighth around that, and I think seventh and eighth will be United and Spurs. And the reason why I think that is like both of them, both clubs have powered up. Obviously, both have made some good signings, and Spurs could also be signing a couple of more really good players. But it's a long way for them to come up, and they'll have Champions League. Spurs will have Champions League, and how will they manage that? Will Thomas Frank's across a season? Will Thomas Frank's tactics work? Just to be dogged and so on. I just think they're set up for a slightly above mid-table finish. United basket case. I'm probably even being generous putting them up seventh or eighth, but they have signed. My thinking on United is that if the front three score goals, that will take them up to seventh, eighth, but their defence will not allow them, I don't think, to get up into the kind of top six.
Yeah, and we'll talk about them obviously in our preview of Man United. So I just think Frank, he will make a difference. He'll organise them. I think he'll organise them, and I said if they make a couple more signings, clever signings, unfortunately, they will be. I don't think they'll be good enough to challenge top four, but they'll be a serviceable club and in the top six and whatever. And then you're going to have the likes of last year you had Forest up there, Fulham, Bournemouth were up there, and you have these other clubs that are up there that I think they're going to drop down. So look, Tottenham was 17th, Man United 15th. then unfortunately they aren't going to be worse than last year. As much as we want it, they
No.
will be better.
Yeah.
How much better, we don't know. And plus, I think other clubs are dropping. So I think just through the nature of that, they will be better placed and so on.
I would say that if Spurs signed nobody this season and lost nobody, if Spurs had the exact same squad this season as last season, the difference between Ange and Thomas Frank is worth about 6 or 7 places alone.
Yeah.
So they could do nothing and kind of go up the table. But again, that's a very, very low bar.
Okay. Jamie's got us on 88 points. Kusiva has got us on 92. Wow, that's I'll take that.
Get in there. Come on.
Mars on 77. I've got us 86, and you got us on 87. It's a tough one to call, because I think the Premier League, the top 8. It's a strong. The Premier League, as we always said, is a strong league. Anyone can beat anyone on any day, and it's not like these other leagues where it's only a few clubs and the rest are just their cannon fodder. So it depends how it pans out in terms of, do the top 3, top 4 dominate and just win everything, or I think Moz has got here. He thinks teams are going to take more points off each other, and I think this also ties in with his disappointment of the season. So it's if you look at the past 3 seasons, so we got in 22-23 we got 84 points, 23-24 we got 89, and last year we got 74, and to win the league it was 89, 91, 84. So yeah, it was sort of. Yeah, so like last year, 84 points, and that was at a canter, and they weren't pushed, and maybe Liverpool would have got more points had they needed to. Yeah, it's a tight again. It's hard to predict. I don't think it's going to be as high as in the 90s. I think teams will take points of each other. I don't think that, but it's going to be it's going to be challenging. I think mid to high 80s is going to be about it. I don't think you're winning the league on as low as 77.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, and I want people to write this down and head to your local bookmakers. We are going to get 87 points. We're going to have 5 defeats and 6 draws. Okay. Take it to the bank.
5 defeats.
6
how are we going to cope with that?
We'll cope very, very well, so long as we're holding that trophy.
If you put it like that, 5 defeats and 6 draws doesn't sound a lot, does it?
No.
It's what I mean. What I mean, it doesn't sound a lot. It's like, okay, I'll accept that. If that gets you 87 points and you think that's enough, and
the only difference there is, like, I can't remember how many we lost last season. Not many, 4, I think. It's only one more loss. It was
the 14.
It's the 14 draws. Yeah. So if you can get that down to a low number, that's where you win your league. The club that changes the 1-1, the 0-0 to 2-1 or 1-0. I don't know why I'm saying 1-0, 1-0. That's who wins the league. You go back, look at any championship winning side, and they'll have a low amount of draws.
Yeah, no, indeed. All right, so Champions League, right? We're winning the lot, so we're winning the double, the Premier League and Champions League double, as far as I'm concerned. Gone a bit doolally. So Jamie's got us in the semi-finals. Kusiva's got us runner-up, so he's meeting me in the final, but we're not winning it. Moz thinks we're going to go backwards to quarterfinals, and you've got us in the semi-finals. And look, cup competitions, luck of the draw, the timing that you meet other teams. Liverpool will be favourites, Barcelona are favourites. Up there, PSG will be up there. Real Madrid will want to stop the poor run that they're on. So Man City as well. Yeah, it's anyone from 6 as far as I'm concerned, and then just how it lands. Maybe we'll have a season where it just falls our way and we end up playing Porto in the final or something like that. So I don't know if they're in the chat. No, Sporting Lisbon in the final. There you go, Sporting Lisbon in the final, and Gyökeres scores a hat trick against his old boys and sticks 2 fingers up to the chairman. So
I have a prediction that. So I have us, getting to the semi-final. I think at some point we're going to play Liverpool in the Champions League. I'm not saying it's going to be in the semi-final and they'll beat us. It could be the quarter-final and we beat them. But I have a strong, strong feeling in the pit of my stomach that there's going to be a Champions League tie against Liverpool this
Well,
season.
at least rather than Tottenham. Let's hope that.
Yeah.
Especially
Although
if we have to.
we just battered them over 2 legs.
Well, yeah, we should do. Yeah, true. Okay, player of the season. So Jamie, Moz, and yourself went for Rice and Kasiva, and I went for Saka. So, what's your thinking?
Yeah, I went with Declan Rice. He's just so good, and I think having Zubamendi to partner him is gonna power him up this season even more. I think he's gonna have a little bit more freedom, and he's Declan Rice. He's the horse.
Indeed,
He's gonna do it.
I don't know. For me, I think Saka. I think he wants to make up for last year. He's looked half decent, in pre-season. He was like on course last year to break Henry's record, and with Gyökeres there, with other attacking options, with maybe Zubamendi, maybe Odegaard freed up. Maybe he's open to more space because then he's not getting doubled up all the time because other people are distracting other defenders. So
Yeah,
I think this could be a year for Saka to go, Salah numbers type stuff.
yeah, it's a good shout. It's a good shout.
Yeah. So and maybe I'm hoping or whatever, but yeah, why not? Why not? He's our star boy. Why not? So, but yes, Rice or Saka, I'll take either. I'll take a. In terms of signing of the season, Jamie, Kusiva, myself, and you went Zubimendi, and Moz went Gyökeres. I think from what we've seen in pre-season, he'll be like one of these subtle, signing of the season. So Gyökeres is all there, blood and thunder, and you can't miss him, and he scores his goals. But I think Zubamendi, of all our players, is going to be the game changer. He's just going to be, our man that just changes our world, I would say. But I don't think he's going to get as much of the plaudits that he maybe wants. But not once. I think he'll just be one of these subtle, under the radar, just controlling everything.
I guarantee you, across the likes of Sky and the likes of TNT, when they're doing their analysis of Arsenal games, they'll have sections on Zubamendi. And as much as it pains me to mention these names, but the likes of Carragher and Neville will be just pointing out what Zubamendi does. They'll have clips of him just doing wonderful things. And I'm so excited to see him.
Yeah. Me too. In terms of young player of the season, everyone else has gone for MLS, and look, I can understand it. It's a fairly easy one, but I'm being a bit contrarian on this, or maybe just seeing something that maybe others aren't, or maybe I'm seeing something that I shouldn't see. But and more about MLS than anything. But I've gone for Waneri. I don't know, maybe a sneaky suspicion that he'll get a few more minutes, and he will maybe have the season akin to what MLS had last season. And he may bring that to the table. He's sort of like, having signed the contract, he looks full of confidence, maybe playing in a better position he wants to play more. I think he's a year older, he's bulking out, so I'm going for Waneri. Also because everyone else went MLS, and I thought, I'll go Waneri. But
I'll be completely honest, I nearly went for Waneri. I ended up kind of going for the easier option. MLS might not play as many minutes if Calafiori stays fit. He jokes, but I know hopefully he does stay fit. And so you could see the MLS's minutes and Waneri's minutes is as you said, if Waneri starts to get more minutes, they could come closer together. So it might be tight. It might be tighter than the obvious MLS prediction. So I could easily see Ethan getting it.
Yeah, indeed. And okay, so surprise or breakout player of the season. Jamie went for Madueke, and I can understand that because again, there's a lot of skeptical people out there or wanting to be impressed. Moz went for Mosquera or Kepa. More likely to be Mosquera. I went for Calafiori, and you've gone for our as of yet unsigned left hand side winger.
Yes.
You put that on the back. Put that on your back of your shirt.
That'll be £200, Mr. Jenkinson. Yeah,
So,
I like I said earlier on, I just have a sneaky feeling that there's somebody coming that we don't know about, and he could be our surprise.
could be a surprise indeed. I think in terms of breakout, I think it's odd. It's an odd one. I went for Calafiori. Like he's still young. Everyone forget he's 22. He's still one of our youngest players, in the team. And look, before we signed him, he was wanted, I think, by Real Madrid, wanted by the top Italian clubs. He was a star for what little Italy played in the Euros. And there is when we see him when he's fit, there is a player there that we just sort of like just love to watch. We have no idea what's going on, but it just looks brilliant. And I'm just hoping again. Yeah, all these are predictions. It's not based on. I'm hoping that if he stays fit, he can bring some of that to the team, and he can have a great season. And we're like, wow, okay, this is what we missed last season. This is and this sort of also plays into my young player of the season, disappointment of the season. I think Calafiori will be if he stays fit. Now, are we being too harsh on him because of his couple of his injuries? Well, his injuries last year were just unfortunate accidents on international duty. If he stays fit, I think he'll have an amazing season. Amazing season.
I'm actually really excited about our two. It's like we have two sets of fullbacks, Calafiori and White. We can play against the low blocks there, the chaos factor, and we have MLS and Timber as the man-to-man kind of fullbacks. I'm really excited. Like if those four fullbacks stay fit this season, I think we'll go a long way.
Well, we're winning the lot.
The whole lot.
We're winning. We're living in the lot. Everything. Okay. So disappointment of the season. Just it's more like maybe just doesn't go to the levels that we expect. So Jamie's gone two-footed in on Martinelli. No, I'm joking. He's chosen Martinelli. Kosiva has disappointed the fact that Victor Gyökeres is going to only score 29 goals and not 30. That's his disappointment. Moz thinks we're losing our unbeaten Big Six record, which I agree on that. I think that's going to happen at some point this season. Okay, I'm gonna let you speak, but you've gone for Moz being our disappointment of the season. Explain.
Yes, no, Moz is my friend, and he's a very, very handsome man. So I'm just going to butter him up first.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah. Moz said, what did he say in our in our little podcast group? He said that he's going to be on more pods this season.
That will be a disappointment. I'm joking.
That's not what the disappointment was. I think Moz is going to renege on that statement. And I miss Moz being on the pod. And I think he's going to let the public and me down. And he's going to disappoint us by not making himself available. Moz, I'm calling for you now. Come on to the pod, buddy. You need to come back. We miss you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. He's I don't know. I was going to make some flake joke, but I'll just leave it at that. So let's see what happens. For me, I back on a semi-serious note. For me, my disappointment season is going to be MLS. Now, I don't want to be down on him, and all the rest of it. I just think he raised the expectations so much last year, and he did so much and came in and was such a surprise and was amazing last year. But I think he's not going to be able to live up to that a bit. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I just don't think he's going to maybe be able to live up to that, and maybe he'll just have a bit of that come down from last year. And I think there may be elements where he struggles, and whether what he does, he maybe has to adapt further to the team in terms of what we're trying to be going forward, trying to progress the ball quicker. So a lot of the time when he gets the ball, the sort of play sort of stops, or he wins a free kick. And when you're trying to drive momentum and stuff like that, the free kicks aren't always the best thing, because then players get back in position, all the rest of it. He needs to be starting the movement as opposed to being like a second or third person in the movement, because especially if he's being closed down. And I think, and I said, this is not to say what he does is bad or anything. I just think he needs to potentially further adapt. Now, again, I'm talking about an 18-year-old here who's midfield who's changed our world to being a left back, and we love him to death. I just think so. This is why disappointing is a bit harsh, but it's more a sense of I don't think he's going to be able to live up to the standards that he set last year. But he still be very good. But just I think it just might be a potentially a difficult season for him.
Yeah, he could be subject to the second season syndrome.
Yeah.
A lot of players know how he plays now. So yeah, like I get it. I know you're not being harsh on him, but I do get the pick.
Yeah. Okay, so top goal scorer. Everyone, apart from Contrarian me, has gone for Gyökeres, and that was a easy one. But I saw your picks, and I thought, yeah, well, I'm going to go with Havertz. I'm not going to forget my man Havertz, the forgotten man of the front line. He's still a very good player. He's still really important to what we do, and I think him and Gyökeres are going to dovetail, and one scores one, and he scores the other, and so on and so on. And that's why, in terms of how many goals scored, I don't think they're both going to be achieving masses of goals, but together, they will form a Gyökeres, striker who scores 40 goals this season, and that's fine. That's good. With Saka being player of the season and player of the Premier League and Ballon d'Or winner, getting 25, 30 himself, and Martinelli scoring one, I think we'll be fine. So look, I don't think there's anything to talk about in terms of why people have picked him, because he's there signed as our centre forward. I mean, he scores loads of goals, and hopefully I'm proved wrong, and hopefully Gyökeres is our top goal scorer, and he replicates what he did in Portugal. So
be nice. But I'm actually delighted you picked Havertz, because I've taken pelters online for defending Havertz. I think he's an incredible player. There's people are down on him in a big way because he misses or he missed a few easy chances, and I understand that. But what Havertz brings to us is incredible, and he's going to be different to the Gyök. And like you, I'd be very happy if Havertz ended up being our top goal scorer, so long as Gyökeres was right beside him with 20 plus.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, Jamie says 22 goals for Gyökeres. Kasiva went 29. Moz 31, 21 in the Premier League, 7 in the UCL, and 3 in the Cups. I've gone for 19 for Havertz, but that's because I said we're going to have a Gyökeres, so it's going to be 19 each. And you went 28, so that's a pretty good return in your first season, and fingers crossed he does that. So
that's all comps. I picked 28 in all comps.
That's what I was assuming.
Yeah.
And finally, in terms of just a bit of fun, in terms of non-Arsenal stuff, bottom three. So Jamie's gone for Everton or West Ham, Burnley, Sunderland, no particular order. Kasiva has gone for Wolves, Leeds and Burnley. Moz, Burnley, Leeds, Sunderland. I've gone for West Ham, Burnley, Leeds, and you've gone for West Ham, Sunderland, Burnley. I think the only surprise there is Everton. I think they might be okay this season, but Wolves, West Ham, of the non-three promoted clubs, I think Wolves and West Ham are potentially in trouble, and it could be maybe another case of just happen to have 3 teams that are worse. And because of Xhaka, and I've got a mate who's a Sunderland supporter, I didn't want to put them in the bottom 3, so I've sort of kept them in there.
You kept them safe.
Let's get them safe, and you picked West Ham as well. Do you think they're going to be in trouble?
Yeah, I West Ham are just a funny bunch. Like, sometimes they can have a decent season and they might finish 7th or 8th, but every few other seasons they just have an absolute disaster, and they haven't bought well. I just have a gut feeling that they're not going to have a good season at all.
No, fair enough. It wouldn't surprise me. It's a bit. I know for some West Ham fans, and it's a bit toxic around there, but with good reason. So let's see. It's going to be difficult, but just as long as Bowen scores some goals for my fancy league team, then the rest can go swivel. So there's been a lot of talk about our first 6 games of the season. So Man United away, Leeds at home, Liverpool away. Then there's the end of the transfer window in the first, and then there's the first international break, because that's what you need 3 weeks into a season. Then we've got Forest at home, City at home, then Newcastle away. And a lot of people saying this is a difficult start. I mean, for me, if you're playing the team that finished 15th last year, that's not the hardest. But we'll talk about Man United in a minute. Leeds at home. Yeah, I think when you having to play Liverpool, third game of the season, that's not great. Then Forest at home, City at home, Newcastle away. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? What would you say is the minimum that we need to just make sure everyone's just relaxed, chilled? I mean, obviously you want 18.
Yeah.
If we have 18, then we are winning the lot. But realistically, what are you expecting from that?
You'd want at least 10 points. I'm not saying that's what
Wow.
we'll get. At least 10. I'll tell
Okay.
you why. I'm going to break this down.
It just seems a bit low. I think there's going to be.
I'm saying at least 10. What I actually think we're going to get, I think we're going to get 14 out of 18. But like for the fan base to not completely melt down, I like 10. But I'll tell you where we're getting our 14 points out of 18. We're going to beat Manchester United. We're going to beat Leeds. We're going to draw at Anfield. We're going to beat Forest. We're going to beat Man City at home. And we're going to draw away at Newcastle. That's my 14 points.
Yeah. I don't think people will be happy with 10. I think that will be, that's, and it depends what other teams do, but that's most probably meaning you're losing to Liverpool and Newcastle.
Not necessarily. So let's say your 10 points could be you lose to Liverpool and you draw both the City home game and Newcastle away.
But then you're losing to Man United.
No, if you're getting your 3 from, unless I'm calculating this wrong, 3 from United.
Wrong.
6
3 from Leeds, 3 from Forest.
6, 9. Oh, I am. Okay, 11. I'll say 11 points min. 11 min.
Yeah. Look, I think, yes, it looks, on paper, it looks like a hard start. But I think maybe we're playing these teams at a good time. First game of the season, we're fresh. We have no injury concerns. We go there full of hope, fresh, and all the rest of it. That's it. So Leeds at home, you should be winning. Liverpool, who knows what sort of state they're going to be in, and if they're going to get Isak, let's hope they don't get him until the first. Let's hope Newcastle really screw him around. So both we play Liverpool with Isak, and then we play Newcastle with Isak. I mean,
yes.
obviously, I'd rather him stay, but even if he stays, reintegrating him and stuff like that.
Yes.
So look,
and even if Liverpool did sign him, say 2 or 3 days before the window closed, he's not going to be fit enough to start a Premier League game. I don't.
It seems that way. So look, Man United, we should win. Leeds, we should win. Liverpool away, I don't ever expect to go there to win. I think we have a chance. We showed last year, even with a Marino up front or midfielder. I don't know what. The Marino Martinelli show last year. Who knows how that's going to figure. Then Forest, we should be okay. City at home, I'm fairly confident. And actually Newcastle away, the way I think for them it's going to be one of those seasons that it's going to be very up and down for them. I don't think they're going to have the repeat of the of last season and so on. And then also Champions League is coming into play. I think before Man City we'll have our first Champions League game, and so will they. So then all of a sudden, likes of Newcastle, likes of City will have Champions League, and Newcastle again. So it depends on the draw we have in the Champions League. And a bit like when we first got back in Champions League, the whole emotion of it and stuff like that takes a lot of energy out of you. And I think we've now obviously going to deal with that, and we've got the squad to deal with it. So, I'm thinking we need 14 minimum, and
14 minimum is a big shout.
It's what I think we'll get, and that's what I think we'll get should be the minimum. So that's four wins and 2 draws, which is doable. I think we can draw.
That's what I said. I said 14 points as well, but I didn't put the word minimum after it.
No, and I would take 15 and lose at Liverpool.
Yeah,
and that's it. But again, a lot of it depends what they do, because if Liverpool and City go on and win all their games, so it's interesting. But we're getting them out early in the season. Teams aren't settled, so we're getting some big games out early in the season. So I don't know. It will come come Sunday, we'll have more of an idea of who we are and who
Yeah,
the other teams are. So
big
let's
time.
let's see. So there we go. That's the season. I said we're winning the lot. So I said book your hotels for the victory parade in Islington next May June. And I look forward to seeing you there, climbing a lamppost, swirling your Gyökeres 14 shirt above your head. So,
Oh yes.
oh yes. Okay, so before we go, we actually have a game to preview. We are playing Man United at 4:30 on Sunday, and as we do, Ian, what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to about the Man United game?
I am looking forward to the Gyök hat-trick, the inevitable Gyök hat-trick. I'm not looking forward to the Sesko hat-trick. That's the only thing.
There you go. It's going to be that all season, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
going
the
to be
whole
that
season.
comparison.
No, I think there is. United have powered up. I said that phrase lots this pod, but they have powered up going forward. But the rest of them, in a similar way to Liverpool, but on a much lower level, the rest of the team leaves a lot to be desired, and I just think we'll overpower them in other areas. So I'm looking forward to us getting a victory. I do think we will. I'm not looking forward to the whole Gyök Sesko nonsense, like the narrative.
Now, for me, just again seeing us back in action in a meaningful game, a big game. So it's exciting. It is the game. It's game of the weekend. It's exciting. We're there. We can be front and center. So I think that's going to be fun. The thing I'm not looking forward to is the unknown. What sort of team will we be? We've been to Man United enough times when they've been rubbish and struggled.
Yeah.
We've been when they've been good and struggled. We've been when we've been rubbish and struggled. So and I've got some stats for us later. So it's not a happy hunting ground as they say. So and what sort of team will Man United be? Because they're going to be up for it. But maybe their bubble will easily be burst. So So let's see. So I'm not looking forward to it. It's the unknown with that. So this, I think, is like one of the hardest questions to ask. What, or maybe not. What do you think our starting 11 is going to be? Because I think up until last week, Kivior was playing all the minutes, and then and Big Gabby looked so unfit. Then all of a sudden he looked amazing. You got Timber and White, Havertz and Gyökeres. That's the big question. Noni and Nelly. Again, options all over the park. What would you think our starting 11 is going to be?
I think it'll be number 1 is Gyökeres, number 2 is Gyökeres.
Wow, he's that good.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think we will have it. I think it'll be obviously Raya. I think it will be. I think it'll be Timber. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be Big Gabby and Saliba, and I think it will be. I'm going to go with Calafiori. I actually think he's going to start Calafiori. Okay. Which kind of goes against what I'm saying because Timber is like a man to man, and Calafiori's the chaos merchant.
Yeah. But then Timber then can come a bit more central, so he provides a bit of solidity. So in a way, you don't want to be maybe playing both your attacking fullbacks because then that leaves maybe the defence exposed. Yeah. So if Calafiori is going to be your roving left back, then maybe you just need a bit of extra solidity against. So it would be Mbeumo, would it be on that side?
And because it's Mbeumo, it could easily be MLS and White because MLS. Like I think they're out of Cunha and Mbeumo. I think they're both. I think Mbeumo's the more dangerous one. I read somebody put up a great tweet saying that. That Cole Palmer broke down in tears because he found out that Mbeumo's first name wasn't Kinder. It just tickled me no end. But hey,
well, I don't know. I think we tried that before. We just put the drum noise, but I don't know if it comes through.
It might not come through.
There we go. No.
But yeah, I think. Yeah, it could easily be the opposite, but I think it'll be Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. It'll be Zubi. it'll be Rice, it'll be Odegaard. I actually think he's going to start Nelly. He's going to start Martinelli, and obviously it'll be Saka. And I think he's going to go big with Gyökeres up top. I wouldn't. I think that's the closest one. Havertz or Gyökeres. I think that's the closest. It could be either, but I just think he might make a statement and say, right, this is our guy. Let's go for it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea. No idea. Well done, you. I'm moving on.
That's what's beautiful about it.
I'm moving on. Yeah, and we can change it, and so I think I'm with you. The question mark about Timber is the fitness. That's the only thing. So because has he played enough? I think you're right. I think so. For me, I can't say if I got a gut feel. I think you're right. Timber and Calafiori, midfield, back four. Goalkeeper. I think he has to. It will be Nelly. I don't because Trossard I think injured or we're going to sell him. I don't think he can play Gyökeres and Noni Madueke because that leaves us defensively too vulnerable because from our press. So basically, if you've got two people in our front three that are still learning the press, still don't know the nuance of it, then that's going to leave us too vulnerable, I think. So you can put Gyökeres in, but you then need to make sure you got Nelly and Saka who know it inside out. You have Odegaard there, and you have Rice. So I just think it's too much to have too much new in that front line. But it becomes a great option later on if we need him. It's one of these ones. I hope that we don't need him, but also I want to see him play. So it's an interesting one there. So I think we need to be a bit pragmatic. Yeah. Arteta's a loyal guy. I've got a feeling first game, Man United, we don't want to give anything away. We want to be in the game and then bring on the Gyök when Maguire is blowing out of his arse. So I'm going to go with Nelly, Saka and Havertz up front. Odegaard, Rice and Zubimendi in the middle. Timber, Saliba, Big G and Calafiori and Raya. So that's what I'm going for. But these are great options. And our bench is just going to be ridiculous. Actually, there's going to be players not getting onto the bench that you could potentially see. So.
Am I right in saying it's 9 subs you're allowed?
I think someone said that the other day. I think. Well, no, you're not allowed to make 9 subs, but you can have 9 subs on the bench.
9 subs on the bench. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Five. You can make 5 subs. So yeah, that makes sense with 9 allowed. So,
and now I put myself on the spot because I can't. I'm trying to I remember the other day I sat down and I wrote down what I thought our bench would be, and there'd be no room for the likes of Max Dowman. Go on, you start.
Well, I know. I don't know. Do you put Max Dowman on? So okay. Obviously, the goalkeeper is going to be Kepa.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have Kivior, White and Mosquera.
Yeah.
Or maybe maybe not Kivior. I don't know. So that's already 4.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have Madueke 5.
Yeah.
MLS and Nordgaard 6, 7.
Yeah.
Dowman 8, and then Marino 9.
And then either where's
Nwaneri?
Yeah, Nwaneri. Then you've did you say Madueke?
Yeah, I said Madueke. Yeah.
So people were calling, and understandably, and we all want the likes of you signed Eze Rodrigo. Where do people go? You're now again, great problem to have. It means 3. 2, 3 high quality players not even making the match day squad.
Well, yeah. So I you're right. I don't think Dalma makes it because do you not have Marino there because he's your rice man? Do you not have Nwaneri there? So I think potentially then one of White, Mosquera and Kivior misses out.
Yeah, so I actually think Kivior would be the one.
Maybe. If it could be, but then that shows his surplus of requirements definitely. So you're going to have someone. You're going to have the likes of Dalman, Mosquera, potentially Marino, missing out, and then definitely Trossard.
Yeah,
Definitely knows.
yes,
definitely knows Zinchenko.
We know Zinchenko.
So,
You've Gabriel Jesus. I know he's not fit,
yeah,
but like when
yeah.
he's fit, like
Yeah.
where do all these players fit in?
No, exactly. So it's nuts. There's that bench in itself is going to be a nightmare. I mean, like I said last year, we were putting the feelers out to see anybody fancy plays. Like the mates going around on Sunday morning. Anyone got a mate who can play?
Yeah.
And this time it's like, yeah, we've got too many. So as for Man United, as you said, they've improved their front line. It couldn't be any worse. But I think the squad has significant flaws. Mainly in defence. They still got Casemiro. They still got likes of De Ligt and Maguire, Onana, who unfortunately I think is injured. So I know exactly. So look, so they're going to have a front three that will keep them in games that are close and that will score some goals, but they're not really stronger anywhere else. So and this is why I think they're going to be an upper mid table team. But I think they'll be inconsistent, and they'll be vulnerable to being crap, basically, and they don't have any Europe to worry about. But I think look, if they were to buy Belieber, that would make a difference. But in talking about their front three, I mean, and in terms of their transfers in, so that they got Sesko 70 odd million plus all the add-ons. No, that's market value. Sorry, they got Sesko for about 76 million euros, Embremo 75, Cunha 74. Some guy called Diego Leon in, and look, it's so typical that I think they definitely they've sort of reacted to one season. So Cunha and Embremo were the top two XG overperformers last year. So all of a sudden they go, oh look, they've got these good players, but are they going to repeat that, or are they going to revert to the norm? Yeah, and Sesko, he's unproven. Yeah, okay, he could be the next big thing, but that's a lot of money for someone who's unproven. Who I think he doubts himself a bit. I don't know. There's something about him. So they paid top dollar for him, but then they paid top dollar for Højlund and Xerxes. And as we know, Man United is the place where strikers go to die. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, but I think they'll be inconsistent and they'll score some goals, but they'll let in a whole load more. And in terms of their preseason, their last couple of games, they drew 1-1 with Fiorentina, drew 2-2 with Everton, and I think when they were in the States, they beat Bournemouth 4-1, beat West Ham 2-1. So a mixed bag. We had a mixed bag, but I think as you're progressing through, I think that says more. So is there? And in terms of injuries, I said Onana, hamstring doubtful, Aiden Heaven, thigh doubtful, Xerxes, muscle injury doubtful, Martinez, he's got a cruciate, so he's out until October, and Mazraoui doubtful. So look, it's Man United, it's at Old Trafford. As I said, we've been there before against rubbish teams. It's always an issue for us. And some stats for you. So Man United have won 15 and lost just 3 of their 21 Premier League opening day fixtures at Old Trafford.
Wow.
Arsenal have only failed to score in one of their last 22 Premier League games against United. So that's 1-1. Arsenal have won just 15% of their Premier League visits to Old Trafford. The only team the Gunners have played more than twice with the worst record is Sheffield Wednesday, 13%. So not a happy hunting ground. So it's 2-1 United. Arsenal have scored in each of their last 11 visits at Old Trafford in the Premier League, but won just 2 of those games. Drawn 5, lost 4. So, doesn't bode well.
No.
Bode well. So what's your prediction then? Here we go.
Even though it doesn't bode well...
How are we starting the season?
We're going to win. I firmly believe we're going to win. I think we're just, across the board, we're better than them. We're going to be too good for them. Scoreline, it's so difficult to predict when you've nothing to go on in terms of Premier League games. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Arsenal.
As you were saying that, or literally before you said it, I typed mine into the sheet and I wrote 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to then change that to 2-1 because I think it. No. Fuck it. 3-1.
As I said, you're going to pick the same score.
We're winning the lot, and so we've got to start with a 3-1 victory. So there we go. We're winning the league. We're in the Champions League. Gyökeres is going to be our top scorers for the season. Calafiori is going to be standing out along with Zubamendi and Saka. MLS. Sorry, boy. I'm only kidding. What am I talking about? But there we go. So yeah, exciting times. So the next time you hear from us will be after the Man United game on Monday. But anyway, before that, thank you, Ian, for joining me and giving me your Nostradamus impression. Much appreciated.
You are very, very welcome. One thing I forgot to mention, I am worried about one aspect of Calafiori's Arsenal career. After you and I posted our pictures online of the jerseys, the green and the white jersey, I just think Calafiori's modelling career is over.
He's toast.
He's toast. He's done. But yeah, you're very welcome. It was great to have the chat. I'm so excited for the season to start. And yeah, let's bloody do this. Let's do this in big style.
Yes, indeed. I think we're due, and yes. So I think we're well set. So fingers crossed. And look, you can follow us on Threads and Blue Sky if you want to get involved, interact, talk nonsense with us. We talk nonsense on there, and yeah, it can be a bit of fun. I said next show, post Man United review and pre-Leeds preview. So yeah, we'll be getting back into the swing of things, into the pre-game, post-game pods, and yeah, we're still lining up a couple of other special things, in terms of the community pods for the first international break. So we're trying to line up a couple of things. We've got some good guests lined up for that. So thank you, Ian, for putting the hard yards in for that. And there we go. And as I said at the beginning, please like, subscribe, leave comments, leave ratings. It really helps. And thank you for being here. That's another 85-minute plus pod. And we appreciate your listenership. And if you are here still, thank you once again. Otherwise, it's just me and Ian talking to each other via a podcasting stream. But anyway, I should stop talking. And all that leaves me to say is, until the next time, come on, you Gunners.